goals. And I want to encourage you to dig deep, and I'll speak a bit about that towards the end of my part. But today I had a number of questions that I thought it would be good to go through, because some of them are quite interesting. So the first question that I was asked to speak a little bit on was about juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Someone has got a person who has this condition. And for that, the products that Neolife can help with is full motion, omega-3 salmon oil, and multimineral alfalfa. So the thing to note with these joint illnesses, arthritis and the like, is that sometimes there are some trigger foods. So it's a good thing to observe and see if certain foods bring about attacks or worsen the condition or trigger off an attack. Some people find that if they give up wheat and maize, the refined grains, they do better. Other people say they find problems with the dairy products, and others, the nightshade plants, for example, tomatoes, brinjals, and so on. So on the lifestyle side, it's a good idea to keep an eye out, because the juvenile rheumatoid is for children younger than 16, so up to 16 years old. So as a parent, you can also, if the child is old enough, to ask them to whether certain foods makes things worse for them. And then, of course, eliminate those foods from the diet, at least for a while. Then the next one is diabetes. Again, this is one that a question we often get about diabetes. And I know there are a number, if you go into our various talks that are given on Zoom, you will find a number of them. I know Liz Gates gave a very nice session about diabetes. The Amulavus also, thank you very much. They gave a nice session giving good information about diabetes. So I will just briefly say that, of course, in South Africa, we are now happy to say we have Botanical Balance, one of the leading products that we now recommend for diabetes, that helps the body with dealing with sugar and carbohydrates well, so as to help against diabetes. And then, of course, we still have Trianen, which is very good because it helps the cells to be in better condition, to be sensitive to insulin, and fiber tablets, which are good for the sugar management of the body, to help the body to carry sugar out if it's in excess, or to slow down the rate at which sugar and glucose is absorbed from the gut. So those three: Botanical Balance, Trianen, and fiber tablets. Of course, the other thing to know is that diabetes can be advanced, and the more it advances, the more problems it brings with it. And that is why I would encourage us to tell all our people who have family members or parents who have diabetes or sugar problems, not to take it as a minor thing, because it's an illness that starts slowly but builds up, and really it robs you of your well-being, one thing after another. So we know that as diabetes advances, there's going to be eye problems, there's going to be kidney damage, there's going to be leg sores which do not heal, and so on. So this is quite serious. And it means that apart from the three Botanical Balance, Trianen, and fiber tablets, a person who has got advanced diabetes will also have other issues that relate to their health. And so, for instance, they may need omega-3 salmon oil also to help with high blood pressure or other blood-related problems. They could also benefit from zinc to prevent those sores that the people with diabetes get. And also carotenoid complex to help with preventing the reduction in eyesight. So just to also add that, of course, diabetes is a lifestyle-related illness, and by taking better care of your lifestyle, you can actually come back from diabetes and have a good, healthy life. So eliminating sugar and processed carbohydrates and other types of junk food is essential for lifestyle change. and to convert to unprocessed carbohydrates. I'm always talking about the better carbohydrates that we have in plenty in Africa. We've got things like yams, we've got arrowroots, we've got all these many carbohydrates that are not processed, which are a much better choice for a person who has got pre-diabetes or diabetes. Also good proteins such as fish and chicken. These ones would be beneficial. So just to reiterate, don't let's become comfortable living with diabetes. It is better to take those measures, even if it is the early stages, and if it is the later stages, still also, it's never too late to do the right thing. Then moving on, another person wanted to know if they can take blood thinning supplements because they are on warfarin. And the thing I wanted to caution about here is that we do have supplements that help to thin the blood, but the focus of Neolife is not specifically to thin the blood. It is to have healthy blood. One of the things would be that the blood is thinner. But that means that if the person is taking warfarin, it is dangerous. The blood could get too thin. Because you see, if the blood is not thin enough, if it's got clots, then you have danger of strokes and so on. But you can also get other types of stroke if the blood is too thin, and also there can be excessive bleeding because the blood does not clot well on wounds. So just to say to the person who asked the question, they should have a good, robust discussion with their doctor about the use of blood thinning supplements in conjunction with warfarin. They should not just take the warfarin and add supplements on it. But for blood health, the products that Neolife has will be garlic allium, vitamin E, omega-3 salmon oil, and lipotropic adjunct. So our aim there is for the blood to be a healthy blood. And as I said, please, if you are on warfarin, it is important to talk to the doctor rather than to just add on the supplements. Then the next one is a question about how we can support someone living with HIV/AIDS. And of course, again, we have always said we don't lie to people that we are going to cure AIDS. What we say is that we can support their body to have a better quality of life. And for that, from Neolife, we recommend phytodefense. We recommend vitamin B complex, as well as NutriShake. And in addition to that, acidophilus, if they have got gut issues, would be quite helpful. And zinc, if they've got skin issues, because these are some of the issues that are associated with HIV and AIDS. So phytodefense, vitamin B, and NutriShake, as well as acidophilus and zinc. Also, of course, remember, we always say that what we are doing is supplementing. Supplementing means we are adding onto something which is already there. So the person living with AIDS also needs a good foundation of a healthy diet so that they have got plenty of fruits and vegetables. Because even when you take acidophilus, the acidophilus works best if you're taking a healthy diet that has got plenty of fruits and vegetables, because the bacteria in the acidophilus live on fiber. So the fiber supports the success of the acidophilus. And we already have some gut bacteria as is. I know in some markets we don't have acidophilus, but remember that your body already does have acidophilus, which you probably got from your mother at birth. And what you will do is to eat a diet that helps the right bacteria to grow and remove the things that bring the wrong bacteria. So for example, if you take a very sugary diet, the bacteria that like sugar are the ones which are going to increase in your gut. The ones which support your health will be reduced because they don't like sugar. So if you switch and start taking less and less sugar and more of a wholesome diet, then the good bacteria are going to be supported and become more. Okay. So that is it with HIV. Then the other question I had was about the prostate, which I think we have mentioned on a number of occasions and has become a common thing, a problem that people have. Here we know that cruciferous is essential. And in addition to that, chelated zinc and herbal masculine complex. We recommend, once again, a good healthy diet, as well as increasing the level of activity, taking up a sport or walking more, or looking for some kind of exercise that you enjoy so that you increase your level of activity, which always supports good health. Another question I got was not actually about a condition, but about our products. The person wanted to know why it is that full motion, which we know has got a substance called glucosamine, does not also have chondroitin. So for those of you who take interest in the composition of the products, someone wanted to know why full motion does not have chondroitin, which often in other similar products go hand in hand with glucosamine. But the Neolife research, we have got the scientific advisory board. So Neolife does not just go out and make products because they are in fashion or they are the latest thing online. They actually do serious research so that they know what is actually useful and what is usable for your body and what actually is going to deliver results. That is what makes it possible for us to go out into the market and tell people that our products are going to work, because we are backed by a scientific advisory board. And so glucosamine is in full motion, but chondroitin, in the research, it showed that it gets digested and it is not reconstituted in the body, which means that it will just be another thing that you have eaten and provides you with some nutrients, but it's not going to significantly contribute to the well-being of your joints. So it was pointless to add it to the full motion, because what you have there is the glucosamine, which has scientifically been proved to contribute to the raw material the body needs to build up cartilage and repair the joints. There are also other herbal additions to the full motions, which also support that, and other minerals like boron and so on. These ones have been shown by the scientific advisory board researchers to actually play an active role in joint health. That is why we don't have chondroitin, because it has not been shown to significant, it does not harm, but it does not significantly target the problem for which full motion is required. And so if someone asks why it is you only have glucosamine and not chondroitin, you can then explain that what is in full motion is what has been found to be active, and that actually supports the body's work of repairing joints. Then the other question was about someone whose client was asking why they should buy Neolife or NutriShake instead of other protein powders that are available in the market. I think those of you maybe who have had people admitted in hospital, I know here they usually have some protein shakes that they give patients in hospital. And so I think it's something of this kind that someone was asking why choose Neolife Shake or NutriShake instead of some other one. And they were especially concerned because they are lactose intolerant. And the thing to say here is that the Neolife Shake has a number of advantages. First of all, to say that, yes, it does have lactose, but the lactose is in very low amounts, which means that unless you're very, very sensitive to lactose is a part of milk that people who are intolerant of milk react to mostly. So Neolife Shake has a certain amount of it, but it is a small amount that is usually will not cause a reaction in a person who is lactose tolerant. But of course, if your client is struggling with NutriShake, then you would know that they are hypersensitive to lactose, and then it is not right. So we will not say that it does not have lactose just because we want to sell the product. It does have lactose. It's just that it is in small quantities. In addition to that, it has all the 22 amino acids which our bodies cannot manufacture and has to get from the diet. So it's a full range of the amino acids that our body requires. That is one advantage, because many of the protein shakes don't have the full complement of 22 amino acids. And then the way in which NutriShake is constituted is using the ProtoGuard process. The ProtoGuard process is used in the blending of the proteins so that they protect the protein from excessive heat and thereby maintain its quality. So you are getting high quality, easily digestible proteins. And so because we know that quite a number of times, apart from sports people, we also have people who are recovering from illness or small children who require a protein drink, all of them will benefit from NutriShake because of the ease with which it is digested and the good quality of the amino acids that you get. In addition to that, NutriShake also contains a full range of multivitamins as well as minerals. So you get not only the amino acids, but you also get vitamins and minerals. So that is a whole food. So NutriShake and Neolife Shake is the same thing. One is in the East African region. I think you have NutriShake. In Southern Africa, we have Neolife Shake, and it's the same thing. It is good for growing children. It is good for people who want to reduce their food intake for the purposes of losing weight, but they do not want to compromise their nutrient intake. It is also good for people who have got poor appetites, maybe because they are recovering from illness. And of course, it is also good for growing children and athletes, as well as children who are interested in athletics. So those are the questions that I had. So I now just want to encourage you. We're at this time of the month when we are moving towards month end, and especially because we have had a very tumultuous year 2020 in which much has happened. And it's a good thing. We must thank God that here we are still keeping on. I want to encourage you to not fall into the temptation to fizzle out towards the end. You know, when the year is beginning, we are always very excited. We make resolutions and we are thinking really ready to go and get started. But it is something to think about, that we can become very excited about starting, but give little thought to how we finish. How we start is important, but so is how we finish. So as we move towards the last 2 months of the year, I want you to keep pushing and to dig deep, because this is now the time to dig deep, to actually say to yourself that the fire with which I started is the fire with which I want to finish. There are still people out there. There are still Pascal and Betty out there. If you think about us in 1996 in South Africa with a young family, broke and worried about how we are going to make ends meet, because we were already struggling to make ends meet. I could not get a job. We had a sick child. The situation was not promising, but what we were was not afraid of hard work. We still are not afraid of hard work. We are dedicated to working consistently in our business, and your struggles are our struggles. We are doing exactly the same thing you are doing. It's not that because we are running this training, it means that everything is flowing smoothly for us. We have struggles and we struggle to rise up about them. So I want to encourage you that there are people like Pascal and myself some years ago who are looking. They are looking for an opportunity. You, as a distributor, have the key to that opportunity. If you give up because the year has been difficult and you have not reached the goals as you had hoped, or some of your expectations are proving to not work out so well, I want to tell you that this person who is waiting for you will not have that opportunity because you did not bring it. So for that reason, I'm always grateful to the person who introduced us to the business, because she did not think that it was too difficult and maybe we were young and did not know the business and any of that. She came and told us about the business. This is the part that I encourage you to do. Your part is to plant the seed. Go out and look for those people. You will not find them sitting together in the market waiting for you, definitely. I wish it was like that. No, you will find them here and there, which means you have to do a lot of walking and a lot of talking. But every now and then you come across them and they will be forever grateful to you for having not given up before you reach them. And one person at a time, we will reach them and we will bring them into the business. We'll help them to grow their business and we'll make a positive difference in their lives, whether it's in terms of their health or in terms of their wealth. So with that, let me hand you over to Pascal and encourage you very much to dig deep, dig deep, dig deep, so that we finish 2020 well, just as we started it, with a lot of enthusiasm and hope. The hope is not gone, it is still there, and the people are still there looking for better health and better wealth. Thank you very much. And let me hand you over to Pascal, who is going to continue with you in building your business. And I wish you a very good month end. I keep on looking for those goals. They are going to come. They're going to come. Be strong, eh?
Thank you very much, Betty, and thank you all. Okay. Sorry. Thank you very much. I don't know what happened that we got muted, but I think you had the gist of what Betty has presented with all those products and the idea that we should actually push to the end. The session I would like to share with you this evening are two things. One, how to get new people started. What are the important things that new people need to do to get started in the business on the right footing? Why is that important? Because for me and Betty, every day we think that we are starting the business anew. Why is that important? Because there are very many people who are waiting for this new life message. Because sometimes I shudder to think that our sponsor, Jane Kibera, may have said, Pascal and Betty look very successful, they don't need this business. I think most of you who are watching this presentation tonight, we may not have met. So I want to thank you very much. I want to say that have a new look into the business. Assume you're starting the business. So if you give me a few minutes, I'd like to share with you the screen. One moment, please. Let me just put the slideshow. All right. So the first thing, I'd like you to give you a summary of what our industry is, because sometimes when we show the business to people, they think that this is a small-time business. I've been reading a lot about this industry. The first thing about our industry. This industry is the oldest and the most trusted method of generating customer base. What is it called? It's called word of mouth advertisement. I remember when Betty and I moved to South Africa and I was employed, I was looking to buy a car for the family. So I talked to one of my office mates to ask him, what is the most reliable car that you can buy in terms of price, in terms of service, and in terms of after-sales service? If you want to buy parts, you can. He told me Toyota. I went and bought Toyota. Now, Toyota as a company did not know, but my colleague actually recommended for me to buy the Toyota. That is the same principle we use in our business. It's called word of mouth advertising. The global size of the business in 2019 was $167 billion over 100 countries. And it estimated that it's going to reach 200 billion by the end of this year, even despite Corona. In fact, because of Corona, the business is increasing at a faster rate than it was. Why? Because people are looking for extra ways to generate income. The third thing about our industry is the most profitable way to promote products. With the help of the technology, you can increase your earning ability very, very rapidly. From the projections that they have in this industry, by 2025, this business will reach $650 billion worldwide. The question is, how much of that is going to be part of your business? And for most countries, foreign direct investment policies is one of the great attractions that invite companies to open up in new markets. Why? Because countries are looking for investors to go and invest in their countries. Since 2009, network marketing has generated $1.5 trillion and has paid out $600 billion in commissions. But the last one that is really exciting for me is in 2017, Africa did only 1% of the global sales. What does that tell you? That we are starting from a very, very low base, and two, Africa's population is now 1.1 billion. It means the next explosion of this business is going to be the African continent. So if you're new in this business, if you're old in this business, if you're somewhere in the middle or you've done 3 or 4 years in the business, take heart, you're in the right place. because this is the most efficient system of generating wealth. Now, let me go to this is addressed so much to the new people, but also the people who have been in the business for a long time and want to have a new look at the business. What are the three important ingredients for success in our business? If you have these three things, your chances of success, I would say, without contradiction, is 98%. The first thing you need to have a burning desire. What does that mean? A burning desire simply means that you believe so much in the business that if you don't talk to a person per day, at the end of the day, you will feel something is missing. I know that is true for me, that when the evening comes and I haven't spoken to somebody, sometimes I would just drive out, go to the local petrol station and speak to somebody about the business. You need to have a burning desire. A burning desire can be created if you have very clear goals of what you want to achieve. What is it that is driving you in the business? You see, the people who succeed in our business are not motivated, they are driven. Why do I say they're driven? Because there's something that is pulsating in their being that pushes them to do their business. The second thing that is important for success is to be coachable, teachability. You see, most people start this business with little or no experience. And your willingness to learn, your willingness to open your mind to learn new things is what will determine how successful you become. And the third thing is you need to be willing to work hard. Now, when I say working hard, I don't mean that you spend 18 hours a day doing the business. You need to balance this business. You need to spend time with your family. You need to spend time to be healthy. You need to spend time to improve your mind. But when you're working about the business, you need to do what we call income producing activities. What are those? Talking to people. That is simply what income producing activities is. Talking to people, some of them will become your customers, some of them will become your distributors, some of them will give you referrals. Okay, so those three things are required for success. One, a burning desire. Number two, to be coachable. And number three, willingness to work hard. If you're new in the business, what are the steps that will help you create a strong business and is actually, if you take this business as a business, it will grow and pay you very handsomely. If you take it as a hobby, that is what is going to give you. All right. Step number one, what's your why? Why are you in this business? Is it inspiration or desperation? I know there are some people who are so sick and tired of their bosses that desperation is enough spark to start them off in this business. I know a person who joined the business recently, and I spoke to them last week, and they were telling me they're sick and tired of their employer, and they really want to build this business to grow. If that is the case with you, desperation is good enough. If desperation is not the case, inspiration should be the case. That means you are inspired to achieve a better life than you currently have. That is why it's very important for you to have a dream chart. Prepare the dreams of the things you want to do. It has to be visual. Don't say, I want to buy a car. What type of car? What color is it? What is the size of engine? How much does it cost? Does it have air conditioning? Does it have interior climate control? The interior of the car leather? You need to describe all those details and find a picture of that exact car that you want. Okay? Why is this important? Because there's something in our brain called the reticular activating system. Today, I went with my son to the shop to buy some grocery, and he asked me, Daddy, what is the car that you want to buy after the one you're driving? I told him I want to buy a Toyota CHR, red in color. It's got interior climate control and all the details. So he said that I've never seen it before. And before 2 minutes prior, so you see that car on the left? He said yes. And before we came back home, we had seen 4 cars of the same type. Why is it that I noticed it? Because something in my brain recognized what I have decided what my dream is. So when you have a clear dream, you tend to notice things that help you achieve that dream. The second step, of becoming successful is setting goals. What is a goal? A goal is a dream with a deadline. For example, if your goal is to earn 250,000 shillings a month, or $25,000, or 2,500, or $5,000 in 12 months, first, you've identified what it is. Number two, you put a specific date on its achievement. That becomes a goal. That becomes something you're working towards, because human beings are goal-striving beings. All right? So you've set a dream, you put a goal, you find out what it is and the date for its achievement. Step number three, you need to develop monthly, weekly, and daily plans of action. If you don't do this, you're just wishing that you will be successful. So, for example, if you want to earn $5,000 a month in a year's time, $5,000 a month, you need to be president's team. That means between now and March or April, you've looked for and found 8 serious people. How will you increase your capacity to get these serious people? You will only meet them if you are serious. Because trust me, people who are serious about life will not be attracted to you if you're not serious. It's a law of life. It's called the law of attraction. You attract to yourself the person you have become. If you have become a leader, you're going to attract leaders. If you become a person who just talks and puts no action, you'll attract that kind of person. If you're a person who complains a lot, guess what the kind of people you'll attract. In fact, before you sleep tonight, all of us who are watching this presentation, I want you to test something to see the validity of what I am saying. Write down the names of 5 people you spend most of your time with. 5 names. That's one. 2, find out how much they're earning per month, add it up and divide by 5. You will find that that amount is very close to what you're earning. That is a law of nature. That is a law of life. So be careful about the 5 people you spend your time with. Step number 4, you need to break down everything to a daily success habit. What are your daily success habits? Number 1, you need to use the products. If you don't use the products, your business will not grow. Why? Because you need to set example to your team and to your prospects and to your customers. If your customer asks you, by the way, what products do you use? If you don't use them, what are you going to do? Are you going to lie to them that you use the product whereas you're not? If you don't use the product, your business won't grow. It's as simple as that. So the first thing about your daily success habits, use the products. The next thing you need to do is share the business. And there are 4 things you need to do to share the business. 1, write a list of 100 people. It took me a very long time to discover the reason why our business grew very quickly the first 2 years. In fact, the first 2 years, we got up to 3 Ruby and had taken our first step to 4 Ruby within 2 years. And when I look back, I discovered that the reason why our business grew very fast is because the first 10 people we sponsored were people who are looking for the business. John Mwangi, Agnes Wahome, the Kingus, the Malaj, all those people that we sponsored at the beginning, all of them were looking for the business. That's why our business grew very quickly. So when you write a list of 100 people, you need to narrow down to the first 20. How will you identify somebody who is looking? By asking the right questions. If you discover how to ask the right questions, you're going to find out the people who are actually interested in building the business. Because if you drag people to join the business, you'll have to drag them to do the business. And it doesn't work like that. If you really want your business to grow very quickly, learn to ask the right questions and find out if the prospect is interested. What is the right question? An example is to ask them, by the way, what do you do? It will give them a chance for you to know what they actually do and if they are satisfied with what they are doing. From that question, they're going to tell you a lot of things about themselves. Either they're employed, they're happy with their salary, they're not happy, they have a health challenge. Once you've known that, then you tell them, look, we run a business, and if you'd be interested to make extra money, I could send you some information. The reason why you ask those questions is to find out if they're really interested. Okay? But you see, sometimes we are very excited about the business and we want to share all the information. That, I think, is not the right approach. The right approach is to ask questions until you are almost sure this person actually is interested in the business. All right? Even if they say no for the first time, don't discount them. Just keep them on the back burner. Tell them, okay, the business you may not be ready to do the business now. I'll speak to you later. Keep them on the back burner and call them after a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. It doesn't matter. There are people who have spoken to for the number of 3 or 4 years who joined the business this year. So always keep your options open. The third thing you need to do is show the plan. Explain how our business works. What is our business? Our business is we build a network of people who use products. That is what it is. If you can get many people doing a few simple things over an extended period of time, that's what our business is. All right? And once you've shown the plan, the next thing is to follow up. It has to be immediate and enthusiastic. If you show somebody the business and you contact them 1 week later, it's 80% chance that they may not be interested. Why? Because they meet negative thinking people. Their status quo begins to crowd out what you showed them. Because remember, our brain is designed to keep the status quo. That means that our brain will always find reasons to maintain the status quo. If you've shown somebody the business, you need to follow up immediately and enthusiastically. But an important thing that I would like you to really put and take to heart is you need to plan and monitor your activity. I would recommend that you need to plan your whole week the week before or the weekend before so that the whole week you know what you're going to do in your business. What are the income producing activities? Income producing activities are things you do to expose our business to new people. That's all. It's as simple as that. One, social media posts. I mean, there are people who use Facebook very, very effectively. You need to get new contacts. You need to send chats to your social media. You need to do one-on-one calls. You need to do three-way calls with your growing upline leader. They will show you how to do it effectively. You need to do presentations, Facebook, Zoom, videos, one-on-one, group presentation. What are you doing? You are actually exposing the business to new faces. As long as a new set of eyeballs is seeing your business every day, your business will grow, without a doubt. All right? And then personal development. You need to read books every day. I cannot overemphasize this. What you have at the moment is as a result of what you have become. If your business is very successful, it's because you've spent the time to develop yourself. Now, for those of you who are new, even those of you who are already in the business, you're going to experience the following challenges in your business. The first one is discouragement, especially from negative thinking people who probably have done the business and didn't succeed. And when you approach them again, they will load down on you very negative information. The thing you need to ask yourself is this: these people who are speaking into my life, do they pay school fees for my children? Do they pay my rent? Do they do my grocery? You need to think very carefully if you allow negative thinking people to speak in your life, okay? Because one of the keys to knowing that you're on the right path is negative people try to dissuade you from going after your dream. They're called dream stealers, all right? Discouragement, you're going to meet negative thinking people. That is obvious. I remember when we started the business, and I invited one of my colleagues to watch the business. After I finished, he turned to me and said, Pascal, you're an engineer and you're selling soap. You see, that really devastated me. But I had an upline who discouraged me. I mean, he told me that, look, that is, in fact, the fact that that has happened to you means that you're on the right path, because misery likes company. So the people who are negative because they want you to be like them. The thing is, are you going to allow negative people to affect your life? Avoid news. Avoid reading newspaper, because news and newspaper is always negative. The second challenge you're going to face is reinventing the wheel. Look, this business is simple. There are people who have gone before you, have built multi-million dollar businesses. Just follow the system your upline leader has taught you. Don't reinvent the wheel. There's nothing to reinvent in this business. It's a very simple thing. Talk to people, that's all. Invite them for the meeting. After the meeting, follow up and close them up. That is what we do. The third challenge you're going to face is rejection. I was speaking to somebody last week and he was telling me, I've written down a list and coincidentally, none of my relatives are on the list. It's called a prophet in his home syndrome. The people who are closest to you, your relatives and friends, will probably not, they'll probably reject this business idea. So don't worry if it happens. If it happens, know that it's part of the process. So you need to learn what rejection doesn't mean they are rejecting you. It means they are rejecting the business idea. And I have compassion and pity for them because they don't know what I know. I know what this business has done for Betty and myself and my family. The fourth challenge you're going to get in this business is called the greener pasture syndrome. Thinking that another opportunity is going to be better than it is. I can tell you for a fact. I remember when I was a young boy, we used to play with magnifying glasses. If you take the magnifying glass and keep moving it around, it will never spark any fire. But if you keep it still, after some time, the paper starts to burn. Why is that? Because focus on one thing is what brings success. There will always be a greener pasture syndrome. On the other side of the wall, it always looks greener. The other day, Betty was telling me that this greener pasture syndrome, when you look into somebody's nice garden, you admire, wow, what a nice garden. Can I go in there? But what you fail to forget is that the person takes time to mow the lawn, to remove weeds, to water it, to put manure and fertilizer so that the grass can look green. And the last thing is poor relationships. You need to know how to relate with people well. And a very simple thing, use the golden rule. Do unto others what you'd like them to do unto you. If you follow that simple rule, you will always have good relationship with people. Every challenge that we have is in our minds. You see, this is a careless mind, a mind that is open to negative friends, is always concentrating on the challenges, listens to news, but they don't have dreams, past success, income producing activities, affirmations. If you want to strengthen your mind or master your mind, it has to look like that. You need to spend most of your time upgrading your dream chart, thinking about past success because it motivates you that you can actually do well. The income producing activities and affirmations. But negative friends, avoid them. You see, if you're really my friend, you remember last week we talked about friendship and some of the things that makes of good friendship, sharing life's experiences, having common interests, and desiring the good for the people you live. If you're my friend and you're speaking negative things, you're not my friend because I am not interested in negative things. It doesn't mean I don't look at the challenges of life. Everybody has challenges. In fact, if you don't have challenges, ask God why He doesn't trust you. Challenges are there to make us stronger, but don't concentrate on them. Concentrate on where you want to go. This morning I was listening to Les Brown, and he said something that stopped me dead on my tracks. He said that if you don't fight for what you don't want will flow into your life. I had that and it stayed with me the whole day. If you don't struggle and fight for what you don't want will flow into your life without doubt. So you need to choose which way you want your life to be. Okay? And the last thing I would like to share with you is the 90-day game plan or the 90-day challenge. November, December, January. October, next week is the last week. I want to suggest to you, why is a 90-day challenge very important? Because from my studies and experience, it takes 90 days to create a habit that sticks. What is the most important thing is consistency of doing what you have decided. All right. So I'd like, if you're starting the business, if you're a business leader, phase one of the 90-day challenge is this. Negotiate with your family and friends and tell them, look, for the next 90 days, I really want to put everything I've got into this business. I want to build this business so that 2-3 years' time, I can be proud of what I have done, and my family can actually share in the joy of our success. So negotiate with your family and friends and tell them, look, for the next 90 days, November, December, January, I really want to put everything I have in the business. Number two, create your story. What is that? Creating a story means, for example, I'll call one of my distributors, says, Betty and I have decided to really concentrate the business, and we're starting a new project that will last 90 days. If you're interested, I'd like to share with you the information. The business has really helped us. It helped our children to go to private schools. When our son Felix wanted bone marrow transplant, at least we had enough money to be able to get a donor and do the operation, and it cost quite a bit of money. So the business has helped us. So I'm looking for people who want to engage in that kind of project. The project is a 90-day challenge. Set goals and say, for example, by 2021, end of January, I want to earn $2,000, $3,000, $1,000 a month. You need to be very specific about the amount you want to earn, and then identify the group in your team who want to commit to this 90-day challenge. I promise the people who will commit to this, at the end of January, your business will be completely different from what it is at the moment. Phase two of this 90-day challenge is this. You need to plan every weekend what you're going to do the next week. That is, expose the business to 5 people every single day, either by WhatsApp, either by Facebook, inviting people for a Zoom meeting, sending a video. Expose the business to 5 people every day and follow up. The second thing is you need to monitor your activity at the end of the week. Once the week is over, check, what have I accomplished this week? It will give you a very clear idea of how you're spending your time. Because most of the time, we don't know how we are performing because we are not monitoring. Add more people to your group as you sponsor new distributors and tell them about the 90-day challenge. And the last thing is you need to be accountable to each other. How do you do this? Because you meet, start a share group. Share stories of what you're actually doing in this 90-day challenge. For example, you can decide every Thursday lunchtime, a group of people who are in your 90-day challenge, you share your stories of what you have done, what you've come across, the number of people you've spoken to, what people have said. The reason you do that, those stories keep you focused on what you are doing. So I want to recommend to you to get involved in the 90-day challenge. I prepared a short, a one-page document that you can use to monitor your activity level week by week. I'm going to email it to the leaders. You can share it with your team so that it gives you a very clear idea of how to monitor the progress of your 90-day challenge. So before I end the session, I'd like to share a few things with you that has really impacted me the last few months. You see, all of us. Yesterday, I sometimes I get newsfeed. A friend told me that the numbers in South Africa of the people who've died of COVID-19 is about 18,000 in South Africa. In the rest of the African countries, the number is not as much. But you see, all of you are alive. In South Africa, 17 people die on the roads every year. You are alive. Wherever country you are, somebody did not wake up when they went to bed, but you are alive. Do you ask yourself the reason why you are still alive now? Do you think about what God wants you to do to society? Do you know how many people are waiting for you with a new life message to change their lives? Think about it. Betty said it very well. There's another Pascal and Betty who are just waiting for you to share with them this business. So you can imagine the impact you can create for other people in the business or in the life. For me and Betty, our goal is to influence 1 million people on the African continent. For a long period, African continent has been thought of as a dark continent. That's no longer the case. You know, I study a lot, I read a lot. There are 5 things that can make a country an economic superpower. 1 is proper agriculture. Number 2 is a base of energy. Number 3 is a base of non-energy bearing material. Number 4 is educated population, and 5 is technology. Now, Africa has got 60% of the world's physical resources to make our continent the most wealthy continent in the planet. But through this business, if people learn how to make money, people learn how to invest the money, people learn how to create better schools. And for me, this is a message I'd like to put to you, that this is a chance for you to grab up this business, forget about cold reluctance, talk to 5 people every day for the next 3 months. I don't care what people say, as long as you share this business with people, you will find the people who are looking for this business. And I will end with a quote that I normally hear from one of my mentors. If you're uncertain, timid, or vague, if life is too hard for you, think about your dreams, think about your future, think about the changes you can create in this society and in your life, that when people look back, they'll be able to come and say to you, Sabina, you've had an incredible life change in my life. Ambrose Kiruthi, that you've really impacted my life for sharing this business with me. Barbara Mbonye, that you've really tremendously changed my life. Faith Ngaira, you've had a tremendous change in my business. Kissinger Wanjala in Nakuru, that you have shared this business with me, and my life and my children's children will one day say, my dad took a step, or my mother made a decision that has tremendously changed my life. And from now, 5 generations of my children can never say that we never had a chance to be successful. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Paul, back to you.
Thank you so much, Pascal, for an amazing session together with Betty. We cannot pay you, and I don't want to spoil the thoughts that Pascal has been able to leave with all of us tonight, and also Betty. And I just want to tell everyone who is on this call that for sure you have the right opportunity, the right time. Let's continue to share it. As we go to bed tonight, please remember our country, Nigeria, which is experiencing some shakeups because of some demonstration which went the wrong way. So as we pray, tomorrow we just are praying for them. So if you can join us when you're praying, just remember them. They are on a 24-hour curfew. Our distributors are not able to come out together with everybody in Lagos. So they're just doing their orders and believing that it's going to be peaceful so that they can be able to continue to do their business. So as we pray, let us remember them in our prayers. Tomorrow we are just observing a day, and anytime just get some 3 minutes and just say a prayer for the country of Nigeria, which is one of the most promising countries we have in Africa. So from me and Pascal and Betty, I just want to thank everyone who is on this call. I'm going to make sure that we get this recording as soon as possible, and we'll be able to share the monitoring sheet that Pascal is going to send to us so that everybody can be able to have it. And the 90-day challenge begins right now. So Thank you so much, Pascal. We really appreciate. From me, thank you so much, and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.